How biz chuckers, I hope you're all keeping well. Yeah, if you're watching me, please like and subscribe. It really does help the algorithm push my channel and help get the nature gardener message out there. Today I'm doing a bit of no dig bed prep, and you might think that's not digging, Ross. You're smacking the heck out of the ground there with a rake. By the way, if any of you got a rake, I highly recommend using it on its side to get dandelion roots out of the ground, because it works really well. Yeah, I got bindweed, I got everything here, but what I like to do is, before I cover everything in cardboard, I like to just give it a quick rake, get out any big weeds, scrape off any debris which should just go into an old raised bed, and then really just, it's a quick tidy up and get all the ground nice and level, so basically so the cardboard lays flat on it. I find it really helps with the weed suppression, and also you don't want to be walking on cardboard with holes underneath it, because that's a surefire way of breaking an ankle. Everything that's organic and biodegradable that I rake off my bed just goes into the bottom of another raised bed, and it's all part of the compost process. Basically, if it's natural and it breaks down and it's got no chemicals in it, I compost it. So yeah, all the stems, all the stalks, all the bits of bark, all the bits of old newspaper and cardboard that maybe didn't quite break down last year, it all goes in the bottom of a raised bed, and the process just continues. Now, a few people have said to me that they don't do no dig because basically they find it's too expensive because you buy far too much compost. And I understand how you come up with that idea that yes, you're going to cover an area with compost and it could be expensive. But I just want to remind everyone about soil structure and about soil health. If you've got an allotment, or if you've got a large vegetable patch, really and truthfully, you should be putting mulch or manure or something on it every year anyway. Otherwise, you're just depleting the soil. You're taking nutrients out to grow your lovely vegetables, and you're not putting anything back in. And really and truthfully, once I've covered everywhere with cardboard and the mulch or the manure I put on top, it's no more than what I would buy to dig into the soil was I doing the double dig method. So in truth, I honestly think that the argument that it's too expensive to do no dig, if you're gardening properly and if you're rejuvenating your soil with manure every year, it's probably about the same, to be fair. Apologies, I've got a bit of a cold, so if I'm a bit sniffly, I do apologise. I know it's not nice to listen to it, but I'm trying to get this video out before the start of the growing season so a lot of people can save their back, because if you've got a plot and you really want to get some vegetables in the ground this year and you haven't got much time, then a no dig bed might be the answer for you, and this is a real easy way of doing it. As you've seen, I simply rake a flat area. I take out any big weeds that might cause me an issue, like docks and dandelions, but everything else, including the bindweed, just gets left, and a big thick layer of cardboard goes on top of it. I try and use brown cardboard with no ink on it. The ink on brown cardboard that's produced in the UK is fine because it's normally soy based, but don't use glossy cardboard, just use the brown cardboard. And most of the cardboard I leave lying in my back garden for at least 6 months. I accumulate over the year, and so the tape peels off really easily. If the tape doesn't peel off really easily, I don't mind so much, because after a few days of rain and the soil getting on it, it peels off pretty quick anyway. And sometimes I find the odd bit of plastic in my soil and I just take it to one side. But I've got to be honest, you can see where my allotment is. It's right next to a main road, in the middle of an industrial estate, in the middle of a big town. Plastic pollution is everywhere. By all accounts, it's in my testicles. So I don't think a bit of tape on a cardboard box is going to make any difference. Do you? Once you've covered your ground in cardboard, I do recommend just having a quick look over it and going through any gaps and covering up any folds or creases or weak bits of cardboard that's maybe already wet and transparent, because the weeds will push through them. There's no problem in doubling up cardboard. Sometimes I'll use 2 sheets of cardboard, sometimes I'll go cardboard and I'll go mulch and I'll go cardboard again. It depends how much mulch I've got, and it depends how much cardboard I've got. You can't really do it wrong. But what I do recommend is, even if you're not putting a mulch or a compost on straight away, or even if you are putting the mulch or compost on straight away, give it a good water, get that cardboard nice and wet. It all starts the decomposition process, and it helps it like adhere to the soil, which also helps suppress the weeds. And also, if you're not putting the compost on straight away, wetting it will mean it's less likely to blow off and go onto your neighbour's plot if you have a windy night. Once you've watered it, you could just walk off and leave it. It'll be quite happy on its own. It actually does a very good job of suppressing weeds just on its own. You could do this over winter and then take the cardboard off and dig if you really wanted to, and then put the cardboard in your compost bin. But if you worry about it blowing off, just put a few slabs, bricks, wood on it, but in no time at all you're going to have compost on there, so don't worry too much. So now it's the following day. It's a lovely day, absolutely gorgeous day. And to be fair, when you're doing a job like this and it's a nice day, it makes the humping and lumping and the hard graft a lot more easier on the stomach. Now this is one of the jobs that I really don't like doing because it's very physical. And as you know, gardening with a disability isn't the easiest thing to do. But I have to get compost to my plot somehow. And I couldn't drive the car down there, so it was a barrow job. So I started off with one barrow job. Now my doctors would like this because it's all part of my physio process. So that's what, about 30 kg in a barrow. And it was a nice little walk, but I'm feeling good. My medication's kicking in and everything is happy and healthy in the world. Let's see how we get on. Powered by limeade, sunshine, and a willingness to grow vegetables. Now we went with 2 bags in the barrow this time. I thought to myself, can I do 2? There was a time in my life I was able to do 3 bags. Can I do 2? And yes, I can just about do 2 bags of compost. I'm not quite old and decrepit just yet. 2 bags is fine. And now a word from our sponsor, limeade. It's fluorescent green. It tastes like crap, but at 80p a bottle, you can't complain. Limeade. Off to get the rest of the manure. But what I hadn't noticed is our chief mouser. I didn't even realise we had a chief mouser. But yes, didn't even see him or her. But it's nice to know that we have a chief mouser around the plot. I know they have a habit of pooing in places they shouldn't. But we do get a few mice about. And they do like to nibble my sweet corn and my pumpkins. So I wouldn't mind a little dent in the population taking place. So, nice meeting you, Mr. Mouser. Now this is the bit where I was a bit stupid because I had 3 bags left and I thought, you know what, shall I try and do 3 in one go like I used to when I was 20 and I was fit? And the fact is I'm not 20 and fit anymore. And I probably did more harm than good there. And it was pretty painful and it was a stupid thing to do. And so, advice from one gardener to another, don't do stupid things. I didn't want to do 3 more trips with the barrow. I thought 1 more barrow would do it, but it was a bad idea. And I needed a serious sit down after that. So yeah, look after your back, folks, and don't be a plonker like me. Jokes aside, it is really important to look after your back, especially if, like me, you're gardening with a disability or an ailment that, you know, don't be doing daft things like I just did there. By the way, if you're on an allotment and you've got compost and stuff lying around, now this site's really good. I mean, I've had a pumpkin stone in the past, but that's about it. And that was obviously from someone jumping a fence. But in other places, I have actually had compost go missing, which is quite funny. People nicking your compost, but hey ho. So what I tend to do now is when I have compost down the allotment, I tend to empty it out straight away rather than leaving it lying around. But I will show you a little tip, is if you have to leave compost lying around on your allotment or in your garden and you're worried about it getting nicked, this is it's a top little tip. Just put a little X, quite a big X in the back of the compost, like so. Don't try and sever your femoral artery when you're cutting like that, but I'm perfectly safe here, folks, I'm perfectly safe. And then just flop it over like this, and it takes not very long at all. You probably do it quicker than me, and it looks like a normal bag of compost, and you can come back to that in a few weeks time and it'll be fine and the rain won't get on it or anything like that. But if someone comes along and they're going to nick your compost, all they do is just empty it out all over your plot for you. Okay, you ruin the bag, and I like to keep my bags because it's good for the environment. But if you're in a rush and you've got 20 bags of compost and you haven't got time and you're worried about them being nicked, just score the back and the burglar will do your work for you. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you attempt a no-dig garden, because honestly it's wonderful and it really does save me a lot of effort. And as I said, this whole video only really took me about probably 40 minutes, and half my plot's now done, and I've even managed to put some manure on my rhubarb. So until next time, folks, please like and subscribe. Take care. Speak soon.